Hey guys, so I wanted to talk to you about normal distribution, and there's different types of distribution, but this is when we deal with continuous random variables, and it's a function of the mean and the standard deviation of a data set, which is just a set of numbers, and it assigns probabilities to intervals. So what I want to make sure that you know is the normal bell curve, okay? This guy right here is your mean, and this is our symbol, and it's a mu symbol. So this means the mean. So the mean goes directly in the center of our curve. So there are standard deviations, and every time you go to a new line, this interval is our standard deviation away from the mean. Okay? So this would be 1 standard deviation. This would be 2 standard deviations. This would be 3 standard deviations. And with the normal distribution, they assign percentages, probabilities to each interval. Okay? So the entire curve is 100%. These probabilities will never change in a normal distribution. Okay? These two, the first standard deviation will always be 34.1. You can see they match, 13.6, 2.2.1. Always the same. What changes is the area, okay? So this mu means the mean, and this is your standard deviation. So that's a sigma sign, okay? So I'm going to show you some problems just so you can see it working, okay? So for these problems, we have to do our bell curve. We can fill in our probabilities, but what you need is your mean and your standard deviation, and they will tell you. So our first problem is a standardized test has a mean of 50. Okay, that mean goes right in the center, 50. And a standard deviation of 4. Okay, so that means that every time I move, I'm going to add 4. If I were to move left, I would subtract 4. So if we have 50 here, the next one will be 54 because I just add my 4. And then 54, add 4, I get 58, add 4 more, I get 62. And if I went this way, I'd get 46, 42, and 38. Okay, so now it's going to ask me questions. All right, so between 42 and 58, what is the probability? So between 42 and 58, okay, this line is 42 right here, and this line is 58. So what's it asking is to add all the probabilities between these two lines. So I have 13.6 plus 34.1 plus 34.1 plus 13.6. That is going to equal, let me just write it, 13.6, 34.1, 34.1, 13.6. We're adding them. We get 95.4%. Okay? Well, what's the probability of a student getting below a 46? So I go to my 46 line and I say, okay, well, what's the probability to the left? I have 13 plus 6, 2.2.1. Or you could say, okay, well, I know this whole thing is 100%, and I know this side is 50, okay? They want below 46. So if I know this whole side is 50 and they want below 46, the only one I don't care about is the 34.1. So we could just do 50 minus 34.1 and we get 15.9% for that second question. Okay? All right, so let's do a different question. We have the amount of coffee in a can has 350 grams and a standard deviation of 4. So this is the only difference. Okay, 350 is my mean now, and I have a deviation of 4. So this is 354, 358, 362, and going this way, 346, 342, 338. Now I can answer questions. The first one says, what percent of cans has less than 338? Well, here's my 338 line. Less is 0.1. So number 1, 0.1% is my answer. Okay? Number 2, it says between 342 and 350. So I'm looking right there between those. I'm adding, okay? 34.1 plus 13.6, and I get 47.7. So your probabilities never change. What you need is our mean and the standard deviation to get these numbers, because I need these numbers for you to ask me a question. And based on what you ask, I am going to add or subtract probabilities to find your answer. All right, I hope that helps, guys. Have a good day.